Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Skyrise, your early morning show where we talk all things gaming. I'm your host Skytoon, and here's the breakdown for today. We are going to be talking about the Pokémon Presents. We're going to play some Pokepools, talk about the Pokémon TCG Pocket update. Yes, that's a lot of Pokemon. We're also going to be going over what I'm playing, the LEGO Gameboy, character conundrum, questions from Patreon supporters, and shoutouts. Let's go! We have a lot of Pokemon things to go over, starting with the Pokemon Presents. I'm gonna be honest, I'm kinda sick of waking up at the crack of dawn just to be disappointed. Let's be real here for a second. 2/3 of Pokemon Presents are just mobile games and things that we honestly don't really care about. But then, at the very end, the last 5 minutes, they give us a trailer of something that we maybe do care about. Once we got to the end, they showed us a new trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA, which is hype, but it was full of information we've already heard of before. So, at this point, I don't really know why they even have Pokemon Presents. I can't remember the last time that I was impressed by one of the showcases. So, that's just my opinion. I like Pokemon, I think it's a great franchise, but I don't feel that the Pokemon Presents are necessarily as hyped as some of the other online events, kind of like a Nintendo Direct. There's also a new Pokemon TCG Pocket update, but we're going to play the game first, open a pack, and then we're going to go over what this new update has to offer. I was told to open a genetic Apex pack, but not which one I should open, so I think I'm going to choose the Pikachu pack. And let me know down in the comments which one we should open next week. Okay, we are spinning and spinning and stop. What do we got? Rattata, Doduo, Bisharp, Magikarp, and Graplock. I feel like we get more Pokemon TCG Pocket updates than we do Splatfests in Splatoon. Like, honestly, there's gotta be a new one every month. Anyway, the newest update is called Wisdom of Sea and Sky, featuring Ho-Oh, Lugia, and many more cards, including a shiny Gyarados. This update will be available on July 30th. There's one more thing Pokemon related I want to throw in really quick, and that is that we are getting a bundle with the Switch 2 of Pokemon Legends ZA. Now, the catch is that the game is digital, just like Mario Kart World if you got it alongside the Nintendo Switch 2. And it doesn't, at the time of recording, there isn't a special edition. So it's just the normal Switch 2. The Joy-Cons aren't different, nothing is different. It honestly makes me wonder if we're ever going to see a different type of Switch 2. But I think it's not the time yet. And if they're still going to do it for Pokemon, then now's not the time to announce it. Probably when we get closer to October 16th. But even then, we still might not get a special edition Switch 2 yet. Let's move on to what I'm playing. I wanted to talk about the same games that I did last week, because I've made so much progress on them, I've beaten them both. Let's start with FNAF Secret of the Mimic. I was able to get 2 out of 3 endings, and I'm still going to try to get the 3rd ending, but that's probably going to take a little bit longer. The game itself was awesome. The only thing is that I don't know whether or not I like FNAF Security Breach still better than Secret of the Mimic. Everybody likes the first game that they played in a series. It's important to them, it's their starting point, and that's how I feel about Security Breach. But Secret of the Mimic definitely had its own different vibes. I can confidently say that the final boss of Secret of the Mimic was way easier than Security Breach, but I just felt like Security Breach was more exciting. It was a big open mall, it was bright and vibrant, there was music playing, there was all this stuff, and Secret of the Mimic was just this kind of abandoned warehouse. It was dark, there's no map, so you can't see where you're going unless you actually go into a safe room, whereas in Security Breach you could check your watch and see exactly where you need to go. So things were definitely a bit different, but for now that's where I'm at, and eventually I will get the third ending and platinum the game. Regardless, it was fun, and I can't wait for the next either DLC or game that's kind of the open world FNAF that we're getting into. Because I prefer those, even though I know a lot of people prefer the old style. And you knew this was coming. Let's talk about Donkey Kong Bonanza. Don't worry, there's not going to be any spoilers. It was such a great game. The ending was extremely hyped, and even the last two boss fights had crazy difficulty levels that made it a challenge rather than just breezing through. I will say that the one thing is that I never got my questions that I had answered. Now, there is a post-game mission that more than likely will answer the questions that I still have, but it's gonna take a very long time. You need to collect 600 bananas to be able to even complete the entire post-game, which I am nowhere close to that amount of bananas at all. So the 100% begins now, and it's definitely a game that I highly recommend playing if you've already played Super Mario Odyssey. Not because there's similarities, but because some of the elements just make more sense if you've played Super Mario Odyssey first. I'm really trying to be careful not spoiling anything, but make sure you stay tuned for upcoming games, because I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of new ones real soon. Let's talk about LEGO. They've officially launched their 421-piece Game Boy set, which is going for $60. This even has LEGO cartridges of Super Mario Land and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening that you can put into the Game Boy as if it were real. The set is available October 1st, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be super nostalgic for people that actually grew up with the Game Boy. Character Conundrum is up next. Shout out to Sammy, who guessed correctly last week with Kamek. Remember, the first 3 to guess correctly will get a shout out. For this week, here's your hints. This character can fly with their dual tails. They're afraid of lightning, and an inventor. Who could this be? The answer is closer than you think. Let me know down in the comments and find out next week. There aren't any questions from Patreon supporters, so let's move on to the shoutouts. Starting with these solar superstars, the absolute goats of this entire operation, we got a shout out to Ollie, Hi I Am Alive, and Poyo. Of course, we can't forget about our elevated hero, Matthew 2EK. If you'd like to further support the channel, please check out the Patreon link in the description below. There's exclusive perks that you can't get anywhere else. If you enjoyed episode 28 of the Skyrise, do me a favor and leave a like, subscribe, and share the video with some friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.